Hello, and welcome to the A Woman's Soul Restored podcast. We have been away for a minute, but here we go, back with season 5, episode 22. And I'm here with an astounding guest today, and we're not going to prolong the time because she has a wealth of information and we want her to be able to get that out to us. So, I'm going to let her introduce herself today.
Oh boy. Hi everyone, how are you? I'm Riana Milne. I'm just getting back from a 10-day disco Motown cruise, so I'm still
Ooh,
like a little dancing in my chairs here.
yes.
But how did it begin? I've been teaching the mindset for success for over 40 years
Mm,
to students of all ages, women, men, younger, older, children, all the way up to people in their 80s, to help create the life they desire and have the love they deserve.
yes.
Part of that mission was I wanted to become a psychotherapist. So I'm a licensed mental health counselor for over 26 years in private practice. And in 2009, I became a certified life coach for singles, and then 2010 for couples,
Okay.
and then went on to be an advanced CCTP certified clinical trauma professional. In
Wow.
2012, I came out with a childhood trauma checklist, and I specialize in healing both childhood and love relationship trauma, which are definitely interconnected. If you have not healed your childhood trauma, you usually have traumatic relationships.
Yes.
So, this is usually what I talk on. I am a number one best-selling author. I've written 13 books. The two most popular are Love Beyond Your Dreams, Break Free of Toxic Relationships to Have the Love You Deserve, and Live Beyond Your Dreams from Fear and Doubt to Personal Power, Purpose, and Success. My podcast is called Lessons in Life and Love with Coach
Mm,
Riana Milne. And I recently have launched Rihanna AI on lovecoachonline.com, where people can go get my avatar. It looks like me in a Zoom room as if you were on coming for a chat coaching session with me. And it's trained completely in my system
oh,
that I've been teaching for over 40 years. It's cutting edge, it's brand new, and I'm very, very excited about that. So, the
wow.
best thing about it, it speaks in over 40 languages. So, where
Wow.
I can't help people of different languages around the world, my avatar can. So, that's the
Wow.
latest and greatest.
And that's the direction we're going in with everything now with AI.
Yeah.
And so far, how has that been going with the AI for
I
that
I
genre?
really find it exciting. I've been studying it for over 2 years.
Okay.
I've been working with my training my Chat GPT and other systems in my method for over 2 years. And I've had wanted to have this chat room that's completely private. For those 18 and over, they can use that.
Yes.
Um, in the middle of the night, if they just had a breakup and they want to talk to someone and get the answers from my training system, they
Wow.
can do that on Love Coach Online, where I'm not available at 2 a.m.
Wow.
Or again, if they speak Hindu, I can't speak that. And they can go in and still get help from my method that I've coached people around the world with, but only in English. So
Wow.
this is a great advantage for everyone. I'm really excited about it. I've been wanting to do it for over 2 years, but the AI just caught up with me being able to do it,
Right,
to
right,
implement.
right. That is
Yeah. I've had a
fascinating.
text bot. I've had a personalized text bot for about 2 years on rihanamilne.com where they could ask any questions.
Right.
So on Love Coach Online, they can either buy a membership to the text bot or to the video interactive avatar,
Wow.
which is really cool. So, like, if someone signs on and says, "Hi, I'm Jill. I just broke up with my boyfriend. I'm pretty depressed about it." My avatar would say, "Hi, Jill. I'm really sorry to hear about your breakup. Let's talk about what you can do for your depression." So, it's totally
Wow.
personalized and interactive. Yeah.
That is fascinating because now you can go where, like you said before, you had like a barrier, whether it be a
Yeah.
language barrier or a time barrier. but now 24/7, almost like a 1-800 number that's AI'd.
That's
You're
right.
always available. Um,
Yeah.
and in various countries, so you are able to draw in and help more people in
Tons. The world is
anywhere.
anyone that needs.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, and in the times we're living in, it's so many things, situations going on where it's hard for couples to even stay together because one has one view and one has another view, and that can cause a fraction. And what do you
Yes.
do when that fraction happens? Well, let me dial. Let me reach out. And there you go. You're able to
Yeah.
help in that kind of situation.
I've been doing relationship
Yes.
training and coaching for years. Internationally, I can do coaching. In
Yes.
Florida, I can only do therapy, right? I'm limited to my state of
Right.
licensure. So I want to make it clear that Rihanna AI is not mental health treatment.
Right. Right.
You know, when people are in crises, they should not use that. They need to go to their local emergency room or a
Yes.
local therapist, right?
Yeah.
Work with someone. But this is, a good support system. And the main difference between turning to any other just generic ChatGPT or Rihanna AI is the system that I've been teaching and time tested and proven to help both singles and couples
Yeah.
around the world heal from childhood trauma, toxic love relationship dynamics, working with singles or couples. Certainly, if they want more support, I'm still available as a coach to be hired, as long as they can speak English. If they
Okay.
can't, then they'd have to use my avatar.
Okay. 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 So you
Yeah.
have been at this for some years, so it's safe to say you know what you're doing.
I've been there a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, therapy longer, 26 years,
Okay.
private practice. But the coaching, when I say I've been teaching mindset for success for over 40 years, I started by studying in my teen years mindset work.
Okay.
And the reason was I was not allowed to go to a counselor when I had some childhood trauma of my own. And that was the loss of my dear best friend to a drunk
Mhm.
driver. We were 16 and suddenly Michael was gone and I wanted to go to a counselor and my mom said no. No one in this family will ever go to a counselor, and that was
Oh,
the
wow.
times, right? So I turned to books and the masters and reading a lot about mindset, and started to even teach that in my 20s. I had a model and talent school and agency at age 26.
Okay.
And these were people from Erie, Pennsylvania, a very small town that wanted
Mhm.
to make it big.
Yeah.
So I had a dancer that wanted to be a rockette. In New York, she became a rockette. I
Okay.
had an auto mechanic that wanted to be an actor. He ended up on Baywatch. So how
Oh,
do you
okay.
take an everyday small town person with big city and talent dreams
Yeah.
mindset,
Mm.
right? I mean, we can teach them the skills, or the dancer already had the skills. The mechanic had to learn acting skills, which
Right.
he did at my school. And then, but his mindset had to go from the guys teasing him, oh, right, you're going to be a model or an actor,
Mhm.
the outside world, those negative voices that often speak to us,
Yes.
and the inside voices that say you're not good enough,
Right.
to the
Right.
belief system of I can do it and why not me?
Wow.
So, and Michael ended up on Baywatch. So those are just two of many, many stories of people that wanted to make it in the talent industry. So the mindset I had learned in my teens and 20s, I was teaching them.
Okay.
So, and I continue to use that system with my therapy clients and my coaching clients both. But
Wow.
the coaching is much different. Coaching is very educational.
Yes.
There's a 150-page workbook from my research that I created, one for my singles and one for my couples.
Okay.
So we work as a team where they fill out the worksheets, they give them to me. From their answers is how I coach them back. So it's
Okay.
a team effort in coaching and highly educational. And we work longer together, first to heal the traumas
Yes.
that they've had from their past or currently, and then get into what are your dreams? What life do you want to create for yourself?
Right.
And then we look at those goals, and then we start action to create those goals and dreams to become their future.
Wow.
So coaching is programs where they work with me from 4 months to 1 year, depending on what their goals and dreams are and their
Right.
current situation. And then that's the coaching model, which is highly, highly successful.
Wow.
So
And you can see you're very passionate about what you do
yeah,
because you light up and you smile. And that lets you know that somebody is not just doing something as a business, that they really care about what they're
yeah.
doing and the people that they're helping. You could
The
tell the difference.
transformations
Yeah.
are incredible.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
I describe it like a rainbow because I was at the end of that rainbow. That's what started me in my research. I had several love traumas, and I'm like, why? I'm really a nice person. I'm a great
Yeah.
mom, a good businesswoman. I'm spiritual. I'm kind. I'm loving. Like, I don't get why am I attracting toxic people?
Mm,
So you can't change what you don't know or understand.
right.
And I had this breakup. I went to 7 therapy friends of mine. Nobody knew what was the matter with my partner. And so I went into the deep psychological journals to heal myself. And that's when I discovered what he went through in childhood was the direct impact of how he came off as a partner.
Wow.
And he said to me, I don't know what's wrong with me. I sabotage everything I love.
Mm,
And I said, I don't know either, but I'm going to figure it out.
yes.
Because
Yeah.
what we were trained in typical psychotherapy did not match. Nothing was in at the time the DSM-4 where I could diagnose, well, yes, he had high anxiety, but where did all this other things come from?
Right. Right.
Was he was had severe childhood trauma.
Wow.
So a lot of that work went into Love Beyond Your Dreams because I was writing it after that breakup.
Okay.
And I sent him my sample copy, and he goes, put my picture on the cover. I am the poster child for this. And I finally know what's wrong with me.
Wow. Wow.
So it's like a breakthrough.
Yeah.
It's not guilt ridden stuff. Okay, you went through this, now feel guilty about it. No, because 100% of us have some childhood trauma.
Yes.
Okay, so that study came out in 2021 that 100% of us have something. And I named the top 10 traumas in 2012 that I was finding with the populations that I was working with as a therapist. So it's such a diverse background of therapy. I was working in schools from kindergarten all the way up through college level as what
Okay.
they call a SAC counselor,
Okay.
student assistance counselor, that handles the emotionally upset student.
Yes.
I was working with women from the prison system in Atlantic City, New Jersey, who are, often there for prostitution and drug
Yes.
use. And instead of going to jail, they ended up in a rehab center. So I was their night therapist.
Okay.
I was working in a teen drug and alcohol facility. I was working at Atlantic Care, a hospital system mental health units for kids age 5 through 19.
Mm,
So these were the cutter, self mutilation, kids, suicidal, drug use, oppositional, defiant, very upset
right.
children.
Right. Right.
So from all these different populations I was working with, the top 10 traumas that I named kept coming up. So it
Okay.
didn't matter their race, their culture, their age, male, female, straight, LGBTQ, didn't matter.
Right.
These top 10 traumas kept coming up.
Okay.
So that's when I developed the childhood trauma checklist for my clients and it's free on my website, which is my name, rianamilne.com.
Okay.
Anyone can take the test. And it's very simple for people to read and understand. And it's just a 10 question. Did these things happen to you?
Right.
And we're looking at it in a factual way,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
So if you'd like, I'll go over what the 10 traumas are briefly.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Because people usually say, well, I didn't have trauma. I might have had a couple bumps in the road, but I didn't have any childhood trauma. But let's go through the top 10
Okay.
and the listeners might want to make a list, and you might want to do a list with us, Latonia, and see, a lot of my hosts play along. So the first one is if there was any addiction in the household.
Mm,
So being that I'm also a drug and alcohol counselor, I name more than just drugs and alcohol, which are
right.
only two. Okay, so there's sex addiction, meaning you knew one of your parents, was cheating and you were holding the family secret
Mm,
and, So anything like that where cheating was going on in the family. Gambling, porn watching, hoarding, gaming, TV watching, um, food addiction, eating addiction, spending, social media where parents are on the phones more than they are interacting with
Mm-hmm.
their kids. So things like that. So those are some of the addictions that get in the way of good child rearing.
Yeah.
The second is verbal messaging. What did you hear when you were a kid? Did you often hear, I love you, I'm proud of you? Or did you hear messages of put down, like, you look fat in that outfit, you should probably change? Or I'm not sending you to college and wasting my money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These kinds of messages
Right.
delivered to the child, they're not worthy, they're no
Right.
good.
Right.
Or like I remember when I said, it's so amazing that we remember these kind of messages as an adult that happened when we were so young. Like, I
Yes.
get my best time in swimming, I was all excited to tell my mom, but she said, but that's still not as good as so and so's time.
Mm.
So, it was just not good enough. You didn't get the
Yeah.
compliments. You didn't get, like, great job, kiddo. I'm proud of you.
Right. Right.
Those are very important messages to tell your children,
Yes.
you know. Okay, so that's verbal messaging. Number 3 is any emotional abuse or neglect. Number 4 is around abandonment. So I named 2 types. There's fault and no fault abandonment. No fault abandonment would be if a parent happens to die early, a parent is deployed to war, or they have to travel a lot and be away from home to support the family, but that is the family's income.
Yes.
Okay, so that's all no fault abandonment. A fault abandonment is never being in your child's life. Being in the child's life, the couple breaks up and all of a sudden they're rarely there, or they break a lot of promises about their visits. Or the third one is they could be in the family home, but they ignore you.
Okay.
Like, I remember one child came to my therapy center in New Jersey and said, I don't want to go to my dad's house. He just sits and watches football all day. I'm in my room
Wow.
on my computer. Why can't I just be at my mom's house and play with my friends? He doesn't even talk to me.
Wow.
That's a false abandonment.
Yes.
He feels
Yes.
neglected. He feels abandoned, not important compared to
Mm.
football.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's an example there. The next one would be if they were part of the foster care system, if they had to go live in another person's house, even if it was grandma or an aunt or a family friend, they could not stay with mom and dad. They were,
Yes.
given to another
Yeah.
home. Trauma number 7 is personal trauma. This is if you ever felt different or not good enough. Like, I had a beautiful African American girl in my Delray Beach office, and she said, my family was perfect. I really don't think I had any trauma. And I said, well, how was your school experience? She goes, oh, that was horrible. I didn't fit in. I was the only African American student in an all white school. There it was.
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be always family of origin. It's just,
Right.
where do you feel different? I know a lot of my LGBTQ clients, they say, I came out as a lesbian and my friends rejected me, my family rejected me, I felt no good. And then she became angry and
Yes.
rebellious,
Yes.
right? So, and then I remember working with a lot of ADHD kids in the schools, and they always felt different, having to be pulled out of classes
Yeah.
and go to special classes, right? So there's so many situations where people just felt different or they didn't fit in.
Right.
It's personal trauma. I remember being horribly bullied as a kid as well. I was skinny and tall and gawky, and called a nerd. So there it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So after that is number 8 is sibling trauma. Your sibling, most often, this is how we think of it, is your sibling was the golden child, the favored
Mm.
one, like the star athlete, the
Right.
better student, more handsome or beautiful, could come off in a lot of different ways. Or they might have been born with a medical issue that commanded more of mom's and dad's time and you felt neglected. Or the third scenario is they bullied you all the time.
Okay.
So that's sibling trauma. Number 9 has 2 parts. I had to bring it down. Number 11, there are more than 10 traumas. These are the top 10.
Okay.
But 11, when I made the list, was not that prevalent. It was community trauma. And now it's one of the top
Yeah.
3 to 4.
Yes.
Since COVID, we're all impacted by that
Yes.
community trauma,
That is true.
right? And our Mother Nature events, our floods, fires,
Yes.
hurricanes, where it displaces large families and communities. So that's a big one. Economic strife, being at war. This is all community
Right.
trauma.
Right.
Then it impacts the family. So that's the other part of 9. Family trauma could also include the incarceration of a parent, growing up in a dangerous neighborhood where you always are feeling nervous that
Yeah.
you might get hurt or
Yeah.
attacked, going through financial stress with your family or job loss and suffering that way economically. So there's a lot that can go on in family trauma.
Right.
And then number 10 is mental health issues in mom or dad. I'm part of the baby boomer generation, so our parents didn't go to counseling. That was
Right.
very rare.
Yeah.
And so we kind of have to guess, was my mom highly anxious? Was she depressed? What did they have? I hear about a lot of fathers who sound like they're borderline personality, which is one of the hardest for a child to navigate. And to describe that, it's like when they're good, they're great, but when they're bad, they're
Not
horrid, and
really,
you
but
never know
yeah.
what you're going to get.
Right.
So
Right.
you're always walking on eggshells. And then
Mm.
the other one is bipolar, which is manic depressive.
Yeah.
A lot of people think manic is a high and happy state. Well, it can be like a big shopping spree,
Mm-hmm.
but then 30 days later, when the bills come in, you could be depressed for 3 to 4 months because you can't pay them.
Mm.
And, we got bill collectors calling you,
Yes.
and they always go together. There's a manic phase and a depressed
Yeah.
stage, right? So, and then the kid is innocently involved with that scenario because childhood trauma is never our fault,
Right.
right? We're just
Right.
a product of our environment. And, childhood trauma does go through at least 3 generations, and it impacts 7 areas of our life.
Wow.
So if it's not healed, it can really impact you in a multitude of ways.
Yes. Yes. That's really awesome because you've touched probably 4 or 5 of mine that I did have. And that's actually how this podcast was birthed from my healing.
Mhm.
I wouldn't have been able to do this if I was not healed because some of the emails I get in brings me back to what I did go through. And if I wasn't
Yeah,
healed, I would probably break down. But you have to be strong, not only for yourself and what you're doing, but for others as well. They're reaching out to you for a reason. So yeah,
yeah.
you touched on many of my traumas from childhood. Probably about
Mhm.
4, maybe 5. But I'm
Yeah,
thankful to God that I was able to I had to do work now. It didn't just come automatically. But I
right,
had to heal internally for that to reflect externally. And then let
mhm,
others know that it is possible. It's people like yourself and others that really can help you get to the core of what that issue is, what that trauma is, and help you to deal with it without falling apart. Because sometimes when you start touching on things, you could go deeper into that trauma and it's harder to get out. But you can have somebody that pull you and help you reach the goals you're trying to reach without falling
right.
into or getting into a worse situation than you're already in.
Yeah,
So I appreciate your
absolutely.
work. I appreciate what you do. I've been following you for quite some time now.
Oh, thank you.
Because
That's
honestly,
nice.
you were supposed to be on this podcast probably about 3 years ago. And
Oh,
some
what
kind of
happened?
way we got, I don't know what happened, but it never happened. So
Oh,
yeah, so when I saw your name again, I was like, this time I'm more advanced with what I'm doing, able to follow through with calendars and schedules. I gotta get her back. So I am so happy that we were
good.
able to have this interview and for people, my audience, which we are viewed in 30 something countries. So it's great that we're able to have that reach so that when my guests come on, they're not limited to right here in the United States. Anybody can
Right.
see them. And now we're on
That's
YouTube as well. So that audience can see us. So I'm
good.
so grateful for the information that you shared and the work that you do. and I pray continued blessings on everything that you have your hand in. Is it
Right.
anything else you would like to share today?
Yeah, I can go into a lot of different things. Is there anything in particular you would like me to cover?
When someone comes to you and they say that, whatever the issue is, and you help them through that, is there a percentage of people that maybe come back and say, I need a little more, or I thought I was okay and I'm actually not?
Um, well, my coaching graduates do very, very well. Their lives change within the 4 to 6 months. And this is why coaching is such an incredible model, because we are practicing over and over again the mindset and how to think and
Right.
what choices they are making, and making higher value choices for their own self love.
Yeah.
They do the trauma healing first, which is part A. And let's say it's a single person. And then part B is getting them out for dating.
Right.
Well, now they know they don't go for chemistry. They go for quality of the individual. They know the questions to ask. They see
Okay.
if it aligns. And they're so strong mentally that they can walk away from that cute, charming guy and say, that one's not good for me. I can see it in date 1 or 2. And if it's by date 3, and that they know then to do a background check,
Okay.
because they are, always protecting themselves. They are choosing their partner and not waiting to be chosen.
Wow.
It's a
Okay.
big difference. You're dating with full empowerment.
Yes.
And before we get them out dating, there's a 10-point checklist. Maybe I'll review that for your listeners, which goes over if they really are ready to date. And a lot of people go from one relationship to another without healing
Yes.
and taking time for themselves to really, really reevaluate these 10 things. Now, this test is also free on rianamilne.com, but I'll go over it real quick.
Oh,
Um, you have to get at least an 8, 9, or 10 before I let them go out and date. So most people have areas of their life we have to clean up a little bit when they come to me. That's not a big deal. We have to do that for everyone. But they have to be really clear on what they want. What is their future that they want? They're not just looking to date the next cute guy. Like, is this person going to bring value into your life, and do you have a shared vision together? The requirements of what you want. And they can be as silly as must love dogs, which
right.
a lot of my clients
Right.
are dog lovers, or for me, must love dancing, because that's something that I love to do, or travel, all the way to must be honest, live with integrity, doing the right things when nobody's looking, and, be successful in their own careers. Or for me, I'm a homeowner. I wanted them to be a homeowner.
Right.
So these are requirements that I know if they were a great person, they can be my friend. But if they've been renting their whole life, that's not for me,
Right. Right.
right? We
Right.
don't date down, we date our level or higher.
Yes.
Um, so happy and successful being single. So you have a full life, you have great friends that you can introduce this new partner to. You are enjoying your single life. You have a lot of great activities going on.
Mm.
You're very much ready for a commitment. You don't have any old baggage you're dealing with. You don't have a toxic ex hanging around, still trying to get back into your
Yes.
life.
Yes.
You're really ready to meet someone new. You're satisfied with your work and your career. And if you're not, we will do job coaching for you to find something else.
Okay.
I look at all areas of your life to make sure you are creating the life you desire. You're healthy in mind, body, and spirit. So, do you want to lose weight? Do you want to get in shape? Are you studying any spiritual concepts, which are really great in a time of healing and growth?
Yes.
We have to get the mind right
Yes.
in a very positive
Absolutely.
way,
Yes.
right, in your spirit. So that's another one. As your financial and legal situations handled. So there's nothing hanging over your head right now.
Right.
Family relationships. Do you have good relationships with your parents, with your children? Because if you're dating someone that has a toxic, let's say it's a woman, father son relationship, and they're fighting all the time, and the boy is, out all night or in and out of rehab, you don't want to bring that into your
Right.
life.
Right. Right.
Right? You want a partner that has healthy children,
Yes.
and they are succeeding in life, and they have a good, loving relationship. You have effective dating skills. Most people think they know how to date. I can tell you 99% of people do not. You know, I met my fiance on a dating app,
Okay.
and people are like, well, why? Well, because I work at home and I work a lot of hours, and I'm not someone to sit, at a singles
Right.
bar. But I did have a lot of singles friends who are still now our friends
Yes.
and couples friends. But I wasn't in that singles group finding my partner. So I'm
Right.
like, I'm just going to go online. And I was telling my friend James that I'm doing that. He goes, just like that, Rihanna, you're going to find someone. I'm like, yeah, I know exactly what to do. I
Yeah.
said, I've carved out enough stuff in my life to open space for a relationship now. So I'm choosing to have one.
Okay.
So I went on and said, well, let's look, because I even named the date. It's August 1st. Let's see how long it takes me. And I met Chris by August 4th or 5th,
Okay.
and we chatted back and forth. And we met for our first date on the 17th, and we've been engaged. We just bought a beautiful home together, just
Wow.
cruised together, travel the world together. So, yeah,
Awesome.
people who are on dating apps like 4, 6, 8 months or years just don't know what they're doing because it shouldn't take that long.
Right. Right. Right.
Okay. I say there's an art and science to dating successfully. So I teach that to my singles, and they have very good success rates. And many people who are single come to me who want marriage and a family. And they say, like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. All I know is it's not working.
Mhm.
So, well, let's figure it out, and let's have you learn a different and a better way.
Yes.
And I'm here to guide you every step of the way. So as they date, they give me feedback
Okay.
on their dates. What are they saying that's good? What's not good? And why?
Okay.
And now they've got that education, and they don't hang on hoping to change anyone.
Yes.
No, they decide the first 3 dates, yes or no, and then they keep moving on.
Okay.
If they're not appropriate. Then the last one is I have effective relationship skills, because you need great communication skills and relationship skills to sustain the relationship over time,
Awesome.
right? So
Amazing.
that's the checklist for dating and relationship. Are you really ready for a relationship?
Okay.
So that's what we work on with the singles. So, and I could go into one checklist if you'd like for couples. What does the emotionally healthy relationship look like?
Wow. I think that's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because you're blending
Everything I
too.
teach is support. I could be sitting for hours with you. You know that.
I know. I know. But
I
with
know we have
couples, you're
singles and
blending
couples
two
listening.
lives, so it's important to know how to navigate those personalities and those differences. Because we look
Yeah.
at what we have in common, but sometimes you have to look at what we don't have in common and how that's going to
Mhm.
affect us and what impact will that have. So yeah, it's good to look at the compatibilities, but we also have to look at those things that uh I don't think so. And then is that enough to turn you away, or is it something simple that you're willing to stay and try to figure out is that for you?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So this list is from page 294 of Love Beyond Your Dreams book. And the book's 400 pages. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm up to 400 pages. I have to stop. And this is all research based from many, many, many books about what is emotionally healthy love and what is toxic love, and clearly defining the differences. So this is the 5 F's of the foundation of the emotionally healthy relationship. The first one is a solid foundation, the ability to trust yourself and be trusted. You have the confidence in who you are as an individual. You have good self love, and the person you're selecting also does, and you have good morals.
Hmm.
Your moral values match. Very
Okay.
important. Second is flexibility, which means you're open minded, caring, easygoing, emotionally open. You allow for loving conversations without yelling or screaming at anyone. And it's really important that you are flexible enough to allow them to have their own choice. So, like, this was really important during the presidential election, or to get a vaccine or not. That's a personal choice. And you don't try to berate your partner because you're one way and they're choosing another way. Allow them that flexibility, be open minded to that. The third F is fidelity, which is honesty, loyalty, and integrity. And I define integrity as doing the right things when nobody is looking. Next one is friendship. They should be your best friend, your buddy. You respect each other. You can rely on each other. They're kind and they act as your best friend. The next F is fun. They got to be fun. You have common interests, hobbies, shared activities, shared visions for your future together. And then you also cheer on each other's individual goals and dreams. The next is the ability to compromise. You can negotiate your differences. You are easily able to apologize when you do wrong, and you offer forgiveness without imposing blame.
Mm.
The next is you're both balanced individuals. You're healthy in mind, body, spirit. You have boundaries. You have purpose in your work, which you enjoy. Next is intimacy, a balance of love and deep friendship, daily affection, and fulfilling romance to keep the romance going. And the last one, and most important, according to research, is that you both have a belief in faith and spirituality. So that doesn't necessarily mean religious practice where you have to go to church every Saturday at
Right.
4 o'clock.
Right.
This is a spiritual belief system that you have 24/7 on how you run yourself and your life.
Mm.
And they have that too. You're accountable to a higher being,
Right.
right?
Right.
There's a higher guidance in your life that demands accountability. So
Oh,
those are the elements of the emotionally healthy, evolved, and conscious relationship.
wow.
And that's what I teach all my people to have, whether they're singles or couples.
Right.
That's the ideal right there.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. And I guess one question I would have as we get prepared to wrap it up is, since you've been doing this for so many years, how do you keep that vibrancy going with your career and balancing your personal life and being able to have that free time to come down and just relax? How are you able to navigate those nuances of career life balance?
Okay. Well, I often describe triangles in my training. One triangle, balanced triangles, is you, me, and us. So
Okay.
you have to have your you time, and he has to have his time, and then you have that time together.
Yes.
And many couples shortchange their time together.
Yes.
So my career, working out, my time of meditation, my reading. I'm also into financials and writing. I write books.
Yes.
So that's all under my personal time. And he has his things. But then we schedule out times for our vacations. And we always have date nights on the
Okay.
weekends, like by Tuesday, Wednesday. What are we doing this weekend?
Yes.
So you're always striving in your mind, is my balanced triangle equal, right?
Yes.
Three equal sides. And if it's not, let's take the young mom who's busy with her kids and her career and running the kids all over and buying things for the household. And she shortchanges her self care time.
Right.
This is when depression or anxiety is going to set in.
Yes.
So say in your mind, what is off? Where is my balance off? Or he's doing so much. And as a couple, they have no couple time because they have a new baby. So, they have no romance and intimacy time.
Yes.
And they're both angry or aggravated and exhausted because they have to take no time for themselves
Right.
or
Right.
themselves as a couple. So you're always asking, am I in balance?
Okay.
I do meditate every day. That's really important for me and my balance.
Yes.
I always kind of live by a motto of work hard, play hard.
Mm.
I was a single mom for many years, so I always worked hard.
Yes.
Uh, but play hard is really important for me.
Right.
Like doing a disco cruise, and next month I'm on a rock and roll cruise. So
Okay.
I love music, and dancing
Yeah.
helps me free myself of, the trauma stories I
Right.
hear on a consistent basis.
Right.
So you need that activity that you love where you can just, get in the zone. It could be painting, it could be pickleball, it could be
Yes.
dancing, whatever that is, taking time for that.
Wow, that is awesome and amazing. And I almost hate to end, but I know you are a very busy individual, very busy businesswoman. And I thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to share with our audience today. And we'll have all your links to where, if anybody wants to reach out, they can. But I truly thank you for the wisdom that you have and then personal investment to help others. That's something that challenges some people to not only do a job, but be personally invested. So I thank you
Yeah.
for your drive and your motivation to be that person, that go to person, and doing the steps to be able to help others all over. So, if
Yeah.
it's, if,
Yeah, if they go to lovecoachonline.com, lovecoachonline.com, there's a free text bot trial, or you can try the personal chat avatar. I think it's $5 for 3 days of use, which is an
okay,
amazing deal.
yes,
And you get a free ebook just for trying it.
wow,
It's really quite an amazing tool. I'm still amazed by how it works,
wow,
especially the spoken language. So give it a try. I think you really enjoy that.
wow,
And yeah, for our listeners, just keep growing, keep challenging yourself,
yeah,
keep your business growing in different directions, and keep learning. Knowledge is power.
yes, it
So
is. Truly,
if
it
I can
is.
help any of you, reach out to me through rianamilne.com, my main website, or lovecoachonline.com.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Rihanna, for sharing today once again. And if you would like to send an email, send it to a woman soul restored at gmail.com. The website is www.livelifenowlovelifenow.net. And the Facebook page is A Woman Soul Restored. So to each of you, it's never too late for your soul to be restored. And we're talking to someone today that can help you do that. So reach out if it's something that you heard today that piques your interest and say when you was hearing those 10 things and something clicked with you and you thought nothing would click, reach out to her and see what she can do to help you. So for Latonia Y. Hendry, this is A Woman Soul Restored along with Rihanna. You all be blessed. Bye bye.
Bye.